Bye-bye.
Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrusham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayeet Namostute Vyasavishala Buddhe Pullaravindayata Patranetraha Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajwalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panghum Langhayate Girim Yat Krupa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapada Panishadai Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tatgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yashyantam Navidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Adha Srimad Bhagavad Gita Adha Pradhamodhyayaha Arjuna Vishada Yogaha Dhritarashtra Uvacha Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya Sanjaya Uvacha Društva tu Pandavanekam Vyudham Duryodhanastadha Acharyamupasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit Pashyetam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada Putrena Tavasishyena Dhimata. Up to this verse we have covered yesterday. And there was a question which I said I will answer today. We will attend to that question if you people don't mind. Yeah. Who is the questioner and what is the question? Can that be projected?
I think, Sumaji, it was your question. Maybe you've not put it up in the question.
Jai Gurudev, I did not put up in the question.
Maybe it is a little off track. I was just wondering that Yudhishthira, why did he play the game of dice again after going through all that what Draupadi ji had to go through? How could somebody who is upholder of dharma as Yudhishthira go and play this game of dice the second time? I just cannot comprehend that.
Very true. That is your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. The answer to that is, after they have lost the first round of dice and they've lost everything, including themselves, and Draupadi was insulted in the court, then Draupadi was about to curse the Kurus. Then Gandhari and Dhritarashtra intervene, pacify her, give her boons, based on which the Pandavas regain their kingdom and also become free with their armaments. When they were about to go away, Dhritarashtra again sends word to Yudhishthira, please come again for another round of dice. Now, it is the Raja Dharma to respect the request of another Raja whenever the call for the game of dice is made. That is the Raja Dharma. And that is how, and added to that, there is a little weakness in Yudhishthira also. He has got a weakness for playing dice. So when he was called again, he'll come again. And when the stakes are laid down, the stakes are very, very clear. Whoever loses will have to go to the forest for 12 years and live incognito for 1 year. And the result is a foregone conclusion with Shakuni, throwing the dice on behalf of Duryodhana. Yudhishthira loses, and that is how he goes. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir, but I'm still angry with Yudhishthira for that. And I think this is the thing about gambling. What people should...
No, please, madam, you should not be angry with Yudhishthira. You know what? I will ask you a straight question. Who do you think is the hero of Mahabharata? Who is the hero of Mahabharata?
So many people. I think Draupadi.
You can't evade the question. I'm asking you, who is the hero of Mahabharata? So many people can't be heroes.
Krishna?
No. Yudhishthira was the hero.
Oh.
Right? Yeah. Yudhishthira was the hero. And he was Dharma personified. Dharma personified. And if you start reading the Mahabharata, you will appreciate what a great person Yudhishthira was. But
isn't gambling a dharma?
It's not gambling. It is prevalent in those days. Whenever a game of dice is called by another Raja, this Raja to go. That was supposed to be the unwritten rule. It is not gambling. Don't equate it to gambling.
Okay.
Right? And Nala Damayanti, I do not know whether you know the story.
I have read long ago. I don't know the full details. I'll have to read up again.
Nala also was called for the game of dice, and he loses everything. Poor man, he goes to the forest with his wife, and he goes through untold miseries. All these are covered in the Vanaparva of Mahabharata. Okay. If you have time, please read Mahabharata is a wonderful epic, wonderful epic, and the number of characters you will come across will make you wiser, and you will not chastise Yudhishthira just like that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
It is not wise to call Yudhishthira a gambler.
Okay.
Okay. Now do we go forward?
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
There is
So
one more
we have
question.
covered up. Huh?
I have one question,
Yeah.
sir. Sorry.
Yes, please.
From long time, this first line, Dharma Kshetre. So you may have answered already. Kurukshetra, why it was called Dharma Kshetra? Because there were a lot of adharma going on. So you may have answered, but I may have missed it, sir.
Kurukshetra, the Emperor Kuru has done a lot of very great yagas and yajnas there. And that Kurukshetra was supposed to be a Dharma Kshetra. That is what Dhritarashtra was meaning. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. And who is talking of Dharma? That is what I was trying to explain. Dhritarashtra was unfit to talk of Dharma. He being an adharmi to start with. He was jealous of the Pandavas, not just Duryodhana. And he was trying to post himself as a very great emperor and bent on doing justice. But somehow Duryodhana intervenes and I can't do anything, that kind of a thing. That kind of a weakness an emperor cannot exhibit. Dhritarashtra sitting on the throne, if he had said, no, we shall give Pandavas their share. And if Duryodhana objects to that, Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya will silence Duryodhana and all his entourage. Because Bhishmacharya was wedded to protect whoever sits on the throne. And who is sitting on the throne? Dhritarashtra. If only Dhritarashtra says, we shall give half the kingdom as it was previously to the Pandavas, nobody would have raised a finger. And that fellow was talking of Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, that's it. Is your question answered, madam?
Yes, he is presuming that it is Dharma Kshetra, but he is doing a dharma. He is presuming it is like showing it, it's a Dharma Kshetra. But
Yeah.
actually, he is not doing the right thing. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Correct. Yeah. Thank you. So, the fourth verse is what?
Nana, there is one more lady. I said she wrote separately. If you permit, I will read. It's a little longish thing.
Longish. Questions should be precise.
Yeah.
How like questions cannot be like answers.
Yeah. This truth is very simple but multidimensional.
This is some jargon. What is this multidimensional? Truth is truth.
Yeah.
Where are the dimensions to that?
My small advice, humbly to relate, discuss Gita or any knowledge and individual spiritual growth through manana. Secondly, demons are also part of this vast divine consciousness.
Demons are also
part of the vast divine consciousness.
correct.
And every soul, including so-called devils, is evolved in its own pace. God has never discriminated among his own children. It is the interpretations of our holy scriptures to categorize people into good and bad. So labeling anyone is just rejecting the divinity in that person. And
what is that? So what is that? Read the grace. So what? So
labeling anyone as good or bad is just rejecting the divinity in that person.
And that's not correct.
And people like Gurudev and everybody is also trying to uplift everybody, trying to uplift many a soul. So they don't differentiate. So
now what is the question?
this was her her message. I'm not sure if there's a question there.
There's no question.
The question is, everybody is equal, as in the eyes of the, when you look at it from the space of divine consciousness, there is actually no good and bad. So-called bad also, they're in the process of evolution. So why should we label anyone as good or bad? I think that is, as I understand, is the question.
Okay, I'll tell you a story in this connection. There were two acharyas in the court of a king. One acharya was always talking the truth. The other acharya was trying to, give some polish to the truth and present it to the king. The king did not really like that. The first acharya was liked by the king. Then what happened? One day, the king, the acharyas, and king's entourage, they went on a hunting expedition. At that time, there was a huge elephant advancing towards the first acharya. And what was the acharya teaching the king in the court? Everybody, like this lady has said, everybody is divine in his own way. You can't distinguish. Everybody has divinity, including in Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra, including in Shakuni and Dushasana Karna. Everybody is divine. No need to differentiate. This first acharya used to tell the king Advaita philosophy. When he was telling the Advaita philosophy, king really liked it, and he used to have some anecdotes and things like that, prove a point whenever he talked to the king. So during the hunting expedition, when the huge elephant came advancing towards the first acharya, the second acharya was seeing. Then first acharya got off from the place and started running to safety. Right? Afterwards, the hunting was over. The second acharya thought, now this is a wonderful opportunity to pin down this first acharya who has become a favorite to the king. Then next day in the king's court, he tells the king, "Oh Maharaj, you know what? What kind of a personality you have got in this acharya? Yesterday he was running away from the elephant and he is teaching you Advaita philosophy. And the divinity in him and divinity in the elephant should be the same. Why was he running away?" Then the king had a doubt. Maybe there is a point. Called the first acharya and asked him, "Can you please explain, acharya?" He said, "Yes, I knew the divinity is there in me, and in the elephant equally. But the elephant doesn't know. The elephant doesn't know. Same thing here. Dhritarashtra doesn't know. Duryodhana does not know. All those bad characters in Mahabharata, they do not know. The view of Bhagavan Krishna was everybody is equal. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsya vinashyantam yapashyati sapashyati. In the Gita, in the 13th chapter or so, it will come. We will see that. See, it's a matter, it's a view. You know that, but they do not know. When they do not know, they behave in a manner that they do not know. Then you keep your distance from them. Why do you want to move with them as though they're divine? They're essentially divine, yes, but they do not know. You are also told that you are essentially divine, but you do not know you are essentially divine. You are told, but you believe that Shastra, and you go trying to experience the divinity in you. There is a difference between you and, say, Duryodhana, you and Dhritarashtra. Is that question answered, please?
That lady is not here now, Nana.
Oh.
I will let her know. She can listen to the recording.
Okay. Okay. Hey, can you enlarge this slightly? Okay. Okay. That's good. Atra shura maheshwasaha bhimaduna samayudhi yuyudhano viratascha drupadascha maharathaha drushtaketuschekitanaha kashirajascha viryavan purujit kunti bhojascha shrebhyascha narapungavaha युधामन्युश्च विक्रान्ता उत्तमौजाश्च वीर्यवान् सौभद्रो द्रौपदेयाश्च सर्व एव महारथाः. Now who is saying all these things? Whose vakyas are these?
Duryodhana.
Duryodhana. Duryodhana. Acharyam upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. That Sanjaya said in the second verse or so. And in the third verse he said, Pashya Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada Putrena Tavasishyena Dhimata, etc. etc. Right? Now he is describing all those Yodhas by name. And who are those? Drushtaketus Chekitanaha. Drushtaketu is a son of Shishupala. And who is Shishupala? Does anybody know who is Shishupala? There were two demons who were cursed by the rishis to take birth in the Bhuloka and suffer and be the enemies of Vishnu. And when they are eliminated by Vishnu, they will go to Vishnu Loka again. They are Jaya and Vijaya, the Parshadas of Vishnu Bhagavan. Whenever you go to any Vaishnava temple, you will see two men on either side of the main entrance to the Sanctum Sanctorum. Those are Jaya and Vijaya. Those were cursed by Sanaka Sanandanadi Maharshis. Now, these in the first incarnation, they were Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipa. And Vishnu Bhagavan eliminates them, taking two avatars. One avatar is the Varaha Avatara to take care of Hiranyakashipu. The other avatara is the Narsimha Avatara to eliminate Hiranyakashipu. Okay? The first one is Hiranyaksha, sorry. To eliminate Hiranyaksha, he takes to Varaha Avatara. Now, in the next incarnation, these two, Jaya and Vijaya, they become Ravana and Kumbhakarna. And this Ravana and Kumbhakarna are eliminated by Bhagavan Sri Rama. Then in their third incarnation, they become Shishupala and Dantavaktra. Both are eliminated by Bhagavan Krishna. See the avatars. The Varaha Avatara, Narsimha Avatara, Rama Avatara, Krishna Avatara. These avatars only have eliminated those cursed demons. Shishupala was one of them. And Shishupala's son came to assist the Pandavas, and he indeed brought one Akshohini of army. So the Shishupala's son's name is Drushtaketu. Drushtaketu. Hey Brahmara, Can I have the Sanskrit this thing? Yeah. Drushtaketu Chekitanaha. Yeah. Yeah. Drushtaketus Chekitanaha Kashirajascha Viryavan. Chekitana is another Yadava prince. Okay. Yadava prince. He was one Yadava chieftain. He also brings in one Akshauhini of army. Chekitanaha, Drushtaketuschekitanaha, Kashirajascha Viryavan. Kashi Raja, he is the king of Kashi. He is a valorous person. Kashirajascha Viryavan. Purujit. Purujit is the brother of Kunti Bhoja. Kunti Bhoja is who? Kunti Bhoja is who? We have covered this. You people do a lot of manana, isn't it? Kunti Bhoja is who?
Kunti's stepfather or adopted father.
Correct. Very right. Very right, madam. Kunti Bhoja, and he is Kunti's father. Original father was what? What's his name?
Pritha. Her name.
Shurasena. Shurasena. To him, Pritha was born first. Then Vasudeva was born. To Vasudeva, Ketappa was born. That's how it is. Vasudeva Sutam Devam. And he is the nephew of Kunti. Direct nephew of Kunti, Bhagavan Krishna. So, Purujit Kunti Bhojascha, Shebhyascha. Shebya is the father-in-law of Yudhishthira. You may say father-in-law is Drupada. Yes, Drupada, yes. Draupadi he had as a wife. There was another princess he wedded. That princess name is Devika. That Devika's father is this person, Shebya. Purujit Kunti Bhojascha, Shebhyascha Narapungavaha. Narapungavaha means, great men. Yudhamanyuscha Vikrantaha, Uttamojascha Viryavan. Viryavan is very, very valorous people, very daring people. Uttamoja and Yudhamanyuscha Vikrantaha. Vikrantaha means always going forward, fearless. These two, Yudhamanyu and Uttamoja, they were the princes from the Panchala kingdom, Drupada's kingdom. And they were a great support to Arjuna. They were protecting Arjuna's 2 chariot wheels. 2 chariot wheels means on either side of the wheels, they used to be there and fight anybody throwing arrows wildly at Arjuna. That is how. Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta, Uttamojascha Viryavan. Incidentally, these 2 princes also survived the Mahabharata war, but they were put to death in a very cruel manner at night, in darkness, by Ashwathama during the Soptika Parva. Okay? Then Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarvayeva Maharadaha. Sarvayeva Maharadaha means everybody is a Maharada. And Maharada is who? Maharada is one who at one time can handle 10,000 bowmen simultaneously. Maharadaha. And Atirada is one who can handle from 1,000 to 10,000 approximately. Atirada. So these are all Maharadas. And Saubhadro is who? Saubhadro is Subhadra's son. Who is he? Abhimanyu. Subhadra's son Abhimanyu. Saubhadro Draupadeyascha. Hey, this slide has gone. Okay. Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarvayeva Maharadaha. Draupadeyascha are who? The sons of Draupadi. She had 5 sons, one each from each of the Pandavas. Right? They are all called Draupadeyaha. Draupadeyascha Sarvayeva Maharadaha. Then he says, Duryodhana continuing. Now, till now, any doubt, anybody? This is only description of the Yodhas. Nothing has started yet. This sorrow of Arjuna has not yet started. We are in the Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Vishadas, chayas, we have not yet seen yet. The shadows of sorrow for Arjuna, we are yet to see. Right? These are all descriptions of the various fighters. Yudhamanyascha Vikrantaha, Uttamojascha Viryavan, Saubhadro Draupadeyascha, Sarvayeva Maharadaha. Now he says, Asmakam tu Visishtaye, Tannibodha Dvijottama, Nayaka Mama Sainyasya, Sanjnadhantan Bravimite. For your memory, I will tell you, Sanjnadhantan, just in a nutshell I will mention, Asmakam tu Visishtaye, Asmakam tu, from our side also, Visishtaye, ye, whoever is Vishishtaha. Vishishtaha means very profound in warfare and things like that. Vishishtaha, Asmakam tu Visishtaye, Tan Nibodha Dvijottama. Please listen to me. Tan Nibodha Dvijottama, Nayaka Mama Sainyasya. The heroes, Nayakaha, Mama Sainyasya, in my army, Sanjnadhantan Bravimite. I am going to unfold, I am going to list them out. And how does he list? He must list who first? He must list who? The commander-in-chief.
Bhishma Acharya.
Bhishma. He does not. This fellow is a cunning fellow. Who? Duryodhana. Very cunning fellow. Divine inside, yes, like that other lady said. But he doesn't know. Your knowing is of no value. Not for him. Asmakam tu Visishtaye, etc. Now he says, Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Krupascha Samitinjayaha Ashvathama Vikarnascha Saumadastistadhaivacha. Bhavan, aap hai. Bhavan, you, Guru. Bhishmascha, then Bhishma comes. Okay? Maybe this is perhaps permitted by morality, because when he is talking to the Guru, he must mention the Guru first, perhaps. I do not know. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha, Bhishma, Karna, Krupaha. Krupaha means, Krupa is Dronacharya's brother-in-law. Krupi is the wife of Dronacharya, who is the twin sister of Krupacharya. They were born as twins. Bhishmascha Karnascha Krupascha Samitinjayaha. Krupaha Krupacharya. Samitinjayaha means always victorious in the battle. Ashwathama is Dronacharya's son. Very, very dear to him. Ashwathama. Why that name Ashwathama? When he was born, I believe, he has, what do you call the cry of a horse? What do you call that? When the
neigh of a horse.
Neigh of a horse. He neighed like a horse, I believe. Ashwathama. Vikarnascha. This Vikarna is a very special character. He is one of the sons of Dhritarashtra, but he is one who is given to a lot of scruples and morals. Very nice person. In the Kuru palace, when Draupadi was insulted, he was the only one who objected to that. He was the only one who objected and also wanted to know through the Kuru elders, is that proper? What is all this going on? Etc. Then Karna will silence him, and that is how. Ashwathama Vikarnascha Saumadastis Tathaivacha. Saumadatti is Somadatta's son. What is his name? Bhurishrava. Somadatta's son's name is Bhurishrava. Poor man was killed by Satyaki in a very, very mean manner. Anyway, we can't go into the details of Mahabharata. Okay, we'll have to get on to the Gita. Saumadatti is that Bhurishrava. And Bhurishrava is the son of Somadatta. And who is this Somadatta? Somadatta is the son of Bahlika, who was the older brother of Shantanu. You know Shantanu? The king who married Ganga, later on married Satyavati. That Shantanu was the youngest of 3 brothers. One of the brothers simply went away into the forest with Vairagya. I forgot his name. Then the second brother, who is older to Shantanu, is his Bahlika. He declined to rule the kingdom. And that Bahlika had a son who is Somadatta. That son's son is Bhurishrava. Vikarnascha Somadastis Tathaivacha. Then next verse, shall we go? Anye cha bahava shuraha madadde chakrajivitaha. Oh, what happened? What happened?
I request everybody to mute yourselves when you join in. I forgot to mute all.
Anye cha bahava shuraha madadde chaktajivitaha nana shastra praharanaha sarve yuddha visharadaha. You can project that, Brahmara, for others to see.
There's a problem here with the internet, Nana. This page is not moving up. Maybe you will continue.
Okay.
Everybody has a copy of the Gita with them.
No problem. Anye cha bahava shuraha. There are other great heroes. Bahavaha means many. Bahava shuraha madardhe chakta jivitaha. For my sake, they have given up their lives. See here, Duryodhana is kind of predicting the end of the war. Unwittingly, he is the divine Duryodhana is unwittingly talking the truth. Anye cha bahava shuraha madardhe chakta jivitaha. Chakta means having given up. Chakta jivitaha. They have given up their lives, and madardhe, for my sake. Madardhe chakta jivitaha. Nana shastra praharanaha. They are capable of wielding a lot of armaments. Nana shastra praharanaha. Sarve yuddha visharadaha. All are very adept in the warfare. Sarve yuddha visharadaha. Asmakam tu visishtaye tannibodha dvijottama nayaka mama sainyasya samgyadhantan bravimite Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Krupascha Samitinjaya Ashwethama Vikarnascha Saumadastis Tadhaivacha Anyecha Bhavashuraha Madadde Chakta Jivitaha Nana Shastra Praharanaha Sarve Yuddha Visharadaha. And he does not stop there. He continues for 2-3 more verses. Aparyatam tadasmakam balam bhishma bhirakshitam. Paryaptam tvidame tesham balam bhima bhirakshitam. What does it mean? Aparyatam tadasmakam. Vast, almost infinite. Aparyaptam, 11 akshohinis. Aparyaptam tadasmakam. Asmakam means ours. Ours. Balam. Balam is the army strength. Bhishma Abhirakshitam. That army strength is being protected by the commander-in-chief, Bhishmacharya. Paryaptam, very limited. Tvidame tesham balam bhima abhirakshitam. Paryaptam tu idam etesham. Idam etesham means those Pandavas. Those Pandavas army is being protected by Bhima. Why is he mentioning Bhima? When Arjuna, the great warrior, is there, okay, and the commander-in-chief is neither Arjuna nor Bhima. Who is the commander-in-chief of the Pandava forces?
Drishtadyumna.
Drishtadyumna, who was the older brother of Draupadi. Why is he mentioning this Bhima? Because he's mortally afraid of Bhima all the time. Life, like in the Bhagavad Purana, Kamsa used to always think of Krishna. Oh, Krishna is here, Krishna is there, Krishna is here, etc. Like that, Duryodhana, Bhima was like a lion in his life. He was scared. And so he has mentioned, Balam Bhima Bhirakshitam. Right? Now, next verse.
Just pardon me, just an interruption, just a thought that occurred to me. There was a question yesterday of how these evil people evolve, no? So it just occurred to me, more than a common man, these demons like Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakashipu, all of them constantly kept thinking of the Lord in a different way.
Yeah.
Maybe that added to their so-called Sanchita Karma, which helped them evolve later.
Very right.
It's just a thought that occurred, I thought.
Actually, when the rishis cursed them, they were given a choice. Would you like to be for 10 janmas friends and bhaktas of Vishnu and come back to Vishnu Loka after the 10th avatara, 10th janma of yours, or would you like to be the ferocious demon kings who will be opposed to Bhagavan Vishnu and then come back after 3 generations to Vishnu Loka? They prefer, we can't remain without Vishnu for 10 generations. We'll somehow manage being his enemies for 3 generations. You please grant us that. That is how. And like Brahmara said, when they have taken birth as the demons opposed to Vishnu, all the time they were thinking of Vishnu only. Right? Okay. Next verse will go. Aparyatam tadasmakam balam bhishma bhirakshitam. Paryaptam tadametesham balam bhima bhirakshitam. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yada bhagam avastitaha bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavanta sarvayeva hi. This is beautiful. There is a beautiful background to this. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu, from all quarters. Yada bhagam avastitaha, wherever you are fighting. Bhishma meva abhirakshantu. always please protect Bhishma. Bhavantaha, you, Sarva, Bhavantas, Sarva eva hi. You and all people, please protect Bhishma. Why does Bhishma require protection? Why does Bhishma require protection? He was the commander-in-chief. He is elected commander-in-chief. Not an ordinary person will become the commander-in-chief. Not only that, he has defeated his own guru in a hand-to-hand fight. Parshurama was defeated. And he has gone uninvited to the Kashi Rajya to bring back the three princesses, Amba, Ambika, Ambalika. And after defeating so many other princes and kings there, such a great fighter, does he require protection? Why Bhishma Meva Bhirakshantu was mentioned? Can somebody answer?
Earlier you had told that Amba's curse because of that.
Correct. Very right, madam. Very nice. Very good. Okay. Now, Amba's curse. That Amba has taken birth as Shikandi. This information Bhishma gives to all the Kauravas in the Udyoga Parva. Towards the end of the Udyoga Parva, he gives this information to all the Kauravas. This Amba wanted to take revenge on Bhishma because this Amba is a very wild lady. Initially, she did not tell Bhishma that she loved somebody, please leave me here. After coming to Hastinapura, she had a different mind and Bhishma respected that mind and sent her away. It is her misfortune that her lover simply threw her out. Now she comes back to Hastinapura and asks Bhishma to marry her. Bhishma says, hey, don't be a foolish girl. I have taken a vow not to marry. And my vow is for all times. Then she says, I will seek justice through Parashurama. That's how Parashurama and Bhishma happened to fight. And afterwards, Parashurama pleads inability to punish Bhishma and tells Amba, okay, I'm so sorry, that kind of thing. Then Amba makes a big penance and ends her life. And before that, she prays to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva says, yeah, you will be born, and in your next life, you will be the cause for your vengeance to be successful. Right? And she will be born. You do not mind this kind of a little story in between? If you mind, I will skip and go to the next verse.
No, please
No,
give
that's
us.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do like to know some background.
Okay.
The Mahabharata.
Okay. So what happens is, she will be born as a girl to Drupada. Drupada and his wife, they pray very fervently to Lord Shiva, who blesses the couple with a son. Right? And Lord Shiva says, you will get a son. Initially, that son will be a daughter. Don't you worry, he will be your son. Now, Shikandi was born as the daughter. And Drupada and his wife, they protect the girl, and nobody in the palace knows that she is a girl. And when she comes of age, marriage also is performed with the princess of the neighboring king. When the princess comes to live with Shikandi, she comes to realize, hey, my husband is another girl. Then she protests and sends message to her father. who comes with a very huge army to punish Drupada. At that time, the Shikandi slips out of the palace and goes into some Parvata Guhas, into the caves. And there she comes across one Yaksha, who was a disciple of the finance minister of the gods, who? Kubera. Kubera, okay? Kubera. And he says, why are you, beautiful lady, why are you crying? Then she explains, this is the problem. Then he says, oh, this is nothing. I will give you my manhood for a couple of days. Your father-in-law is about to, attack your father, isn't it? During the course of that, you be a man and I'll give you the manhood. And after you pass this critical period, come back and give me my manhood, take away your womanhood. She agrees. She becomes a man, comes back, and the neighboring king will be surprised that his son-in-law is indeed a son, to Drupada, and chastises his own daughter, goes back without fighting. Afterwards, Shikandi comes back to the cave. In the meantime, what happens? Kubera comes there. Kubera, who is the master of this Yaksha, and beckons the Yaksha, and Yaksha does not come out from the cave because Yaksha has become what? A woman. He did not want to show himself to his master in the woman's garb. So he'll be kind of hiding. And Kubera finally finds out and says, you fellow, how dare you give your manhood to somebody else? You forever remain a woman. Curses him and goes away. And when Shikandi goes back to give back her manhood to this Yaksha, that Yaksha says, you are very, very lucky. This is how my master has cursed me. You be a man throughout your life, and that is how. And she becomes Shikandi, man for life. And all this Bhishmacharya knows. And Bhishmacharya's vow was not to fight anybody who does not have the bow and arrows, who does not have the sword and the shield, and who is afraid of fighting and showing his back. These are all the vows Bhishmacharya has taken. He will not fight, and he will not fight that person who was once a woman and became a man later. He will not certainly fight women. Even this eunuch type of person, he will not fight. And he says, when Shikandi starts fighting me, I will simply lay down my arms. The bow and arrows I will simply leave in the chariot. I shall not fight. That is why, to protect Bhishmacharya from such a situation, Duryodhana is asking, Bhishmameva bhirakshanto bhavantas sarvayevahi. Because Duryodhana knows, when Shikandi faces Bhishmacharya, he will give up arms, and Arjuna will take that opportunity and eliminate Bhishmacharya. That he wants to avoid. Bhishmameva bhirakshantu bhavantas sarvayevahi. Then, for the first time, you will come across Bhishmacharya. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuruvruddha pitamaha simhanadam vinadyochaihi shankam dadno pratapavan. Tasya Sanjanayan Harsham. Sanjanayan. Janayan is creating. Sanjanayan is very well creating. Tasya, very well creating. Harsham. Harsham is what? Happiness. Harsham. Kuruvruddhaha pitamahaha. Bhishmacharya. Simhanadam vinadya uchaihi. He roared like a lion. Uchaihi. Simhanadam vinadya uchaihi. Shankham dadmau pratapavan. He blew his conch. And because in those days, the respect was there for dharma. The oldest warrior on both sides is Bhishmacharya. Till such a time Bhishmacharya announces war, people will not get into warfare. So when Bhishmacharya blew his Shankham, Shankham is conch, that is the signal for, yes, we will start war, that is it. Then everybody else has blown their conches. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vruddha pitamahaha simhanadam venadyochaihi shankam dadmau pratapavan. Pratapavan is Bhishmacharya and Pratapavan is Kuru Vruddhaha, Pitamahaha. And he roared like a lion and blew the conch. Then next. Tata shankascha bheryascha panavanaka gomukhaha sahasaivabhyahanyasta sashabdastumulo bhavat. Then there will be a lot of implements in the warfield. There will be a set of a regiment will be there who will be playing all these things. All those things are played. Tata shankascha bheryascha. Bherya is maybe a huge kettle drum or so. Bheryascha. Panava, Anaka, Gomukhaha. Gomukha is something with which you blow. Gomukhaha, Sahasaivabhyahanyasta, Sashabdastumulo bhavat. Everybody has taken the signal from Bhishmacharya and started blowing their conches and beating their drums and making a lot of noises, etc., war noises. Tatas Shvetair Hayair Yukte Mahati Shandane Sthitau Madhavaha Pandavaschaiva Divyau Shankau Pradadmatuhu. Now Vyasa Bhagavan is presenting Bhagavan Krishna here. Tata Shvetaihi. Shveta is what? White. Hayaihi. Hayaihi means what? Haya is what?
Horse.
Horse. Shvetaihi, hayaihi, yuktaha. Okay, and it is yoked to, the chariot is yoked to white horses. Shvetai hayer yuktaihi, mahati, beautiful, beautiful. It is divine. The chariot was given to Arjuna by who? By the fire god during the Khandava Dahana. Anyway, that comes in Adi Parva towards the end, right? Mahati Shandane Sthitau Madhavaha. Mahati Shandane. Shandane means chariot. Sthitau is seated. Madhavaha. Madhavaha is who?
The one who slays
Krishna.
Madhu.
Madhava is who?
The one who
Krishna.
slays Madhu. Krishna, of course. But
Lord Krishna.
The husband of
Madhu.
Lakshmi. Madhavaha.
Mhm.
Madhavaha. Pandavaschaiva. Now Madhavaha, Pandavaha. Which Pandava is this? There are 4 other Pandavas. But when Madhava is mentioned, the Asami inside, the fighter, is unmistakably Arjuna. Madhava Pandavaschaiva Divyau Shankau Pradatmatuhu. We will continue tomorrow, right? Any doubt up to here? Also, we'll continue tomorrow, right? Yeah, because it is quite proper that we start on time and end on time. It is unfair to others who may have other assignments if we delay, right? Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om, everybody. We'll meet tomorrow.
Hari Om.
Thank you
Om.
so much, especially for the little small stories. Very nice.
Jai Gurudev. Thank you.